Zygmunt Kryszkiewicz was born on May 2, 1915 in Mława, Mazovia, to Tadeusz and Apollonia Gorbiewska, the youngest in a large, faithful family. 6 days after his birth, he was baptized into the Catholic faith. While his father was away, Zygmunt was lovingly raised by his grandmother, where he received his early education, including lessons from the Sisters of Charity. After completing his basic schooling, he entered the Passionist school in Szanisz. In 1933, he began his novitiate with the Passionists and received the religious name Bernard. 1 year later, he professed his first vows and dedicated his life completely to Christ. At just 19 years old, he took his religious vows and began studying philosophy and theology, continuing his formation in Rome. On June 3, 1938, he was ordained a priest and soon returned to his homeland to begin serving the people of Poland. Father Bernard became the assistant director of seminarians in Szanisz. When the Second World War began, he was sent to Rawa Maziowiecka, where the only Passionist house still open under the German occupation continued to train future priests. Along with teaching and carrying out his priestly duties, he faithfully guided the seminarians entrusted to his care. I want to live for souls, especially the poorest, the most unfortunate. This desire grows stronger within me with each passing day. I am simply consumed by the desire to help, to effectively aid those most in need. How beautiful is the mission of a priest! These were dark days marked by German arrests, forced labor, and constant fear. Many people turned to the young and devoted priest, finding in him hope, comfort, and strength to endure the suffering surrounding them. His years in Rawa Maziowiecka became a time of deep spiritual growth and heroic charity. He preached retreats whenever he could, visited nearby parishes, cared for a displaced priest from Greater Poland, and faithfully served as a spiritual director and confessor to many souls. Since I began my priestly mission on this earth, I have felt ever more clearly the powerful groan of pain that rises daily from this exile to heaven, yet I will not be able to fully comprehend its immensity, even until I die, and that is why I like to speak of suffering. I like to do so because Christ devoted so much to wiping away the tears of pain, and a priest, being his representative on earth, should also follow in his footsteps. On January 16, 1945, the Red Army heavily bombed the city. The Passionist house was turned into a hospital, and Father Bernard willingly served as both nurse and cook for the community. He cared for the sick, comforted survivors of the bombing, and treated wounded soldiers. Showing remarkable courage, he dug through the rubble with his own hands to rescue those trapped beneath the ruins, carried them on his shoulders to safety, and cared for their injuries. When the fighting had ended, Father Bernard returned to Szanisz, where he devoted himself to restoring temporary hospitals and transforming them once again into Passionist monasteries for religious life. After tirelessly serving others, Father Bernard contracted typhus and died on July 7, 1945, in Szanisz, Poland. A solemn funeral was celebrated, and his coffin, covered with white lilies, was laid to rest in the basement of the Passionist church. The priest's last words were, "Jesus, I love you." He was only 30 years old. Dearest Father Bernard, pray for us.